How to start a business that is pandemic proof. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can start a business, some of the ideas that you may want to consider that will give you some form of pandemic protection if the next one strikes. I personally think there will be something in the future that will test us all again as business owners, and especially those who are trying to make more money. And we need to be really smart, we need to think ahead. So I'm going to run through some of my ideas which I think will protect you somewhat when starting a business, and ultimately, why did businesses fail through the last pandemic? Okay, so let's address what happened last time. COVID hit, all the businesses that had face-to-face customer interaction, that were serving physical products, bed shops, cafes, actual physical stores that were selling things to people, they had to shut down and say, sorry, you can't come in. And even if you did, you have to come in a few at a time, wearing masks, you can't touch certain things. It was a total nightmare. So it was a real light bulb moment for a lot of us. And certainly for myself, I was looking at this thinking, thank God my service and products are online. That's the most important thing. Jason Greystone, who's kindly sponsoring this video, says it perfectly. Timeless and spaceless, which I totally agree with. Non-physical products will always survive. So we're going to look at the businesses that did very well, but we will address what didn't go well. And that is radius-based businesses. And the reason I say radius-based business, let's take a cafe. I love coffee. Quick swig.
Nice.
I love coffee, but the thing is, I'm never going to travel every day 10, 15, 20 miles for a coffee, even if it's excellent. I'll get my quick fix, instant coffee, Costa machine, whatever it might be. So radius businesses really need to excel on their customer service and their product. The problem is, when a pandemic strikes, that all goes out the window. I'm never going to travel 10 miles every day for a coffee on a normal day, and especially when pandemic strikes, everything shuts down. So we look for instant gratification through getting our services and products at the nearest place convenient. So that's something you have to bear in mind. If a pandemic strikes, although my vintage incredible coffee shop or whatever business you have, am I really going to get customers through the door? A lot of places and businesses saw that wasn't the case. Homeware stores, DIY stores, they all had to shut down. And some of them moved online where we could order and it would be delivered to our front door and we'd have to wait and open it up. That was great. Some didn't, and some have dissolved, they've liquidated. Not a lot of businesses survived because they didn't move quick enough. Typically, what I see, I work with a lot of companies as well, and board of directors who are quite old in their ways, quite baby boomer, they haven't changed, they haven't brought in fresh blood, they're not thinking ahead, they're not adapting quick enough. Those are typically, there is a pattern. A lot of companies that have older board of directors and they've not brought in fresh blood, those are the ones that majority have liquidated now because they didn't move, they didn't have that initiative. They're probably a little bit worn, torn as well. So how can you avoid this? Look, if you're in employment and you're looking to break out, because we're in a world where everyone wants to make more money right now. I always want to make more money, but how can we go to more of a remote working? How can we start businesses that we can still sell, scale, grow, build out a team if the worst is to happen again? I think it will come at some point. E-commerce, online retail, consulting, knowledge into currency, taking your education and providing a service because you're specializing in a certain area. Remote working services, freelancing, admin, design, technology, but serving on an online basis to anyone in the world. Online education services, this is a big one. One thing that we saw in the last pandemic, everyone wanted to learn. I have so many friends that now don't really have an interest in finance, learning. But during the pandemic, it was always all they wanted to do. Learn about money, develop, mindset, work out. But as soon as it was all over, kind of all went out the window. So what we saw is people go, oh my God, we're all stuck indoors. We're getting sick of watching telly. Let's learn. Let's learn about money. People were a lot more active. So there was that moment where a lot of people really applied developing out educational programs. Look at PTs. Look at Joe Wicks, James Smith. Most PTs in the country were like, what am I going to do? I can't train people face-to-face, radius-based business, physical business. I can't train people. But those PTs that moved online, they used social media, they leveraged it, they built out programs, ebooks, they learned funnels, they learned upselling, they provided masterminds, and they made an absolute killing. Another business that not only survived, but thrived through the last pandemic, through COVID, and some people laugh. There are some baby boomers that still think social media and content creator is made up, that it's a bit of a joke. It's legit. it. I'm sitting here as a business owner, but I'm also a content creator, but it's a part of my business. Content creators made a lot of money. They doubled down on YouTube, they doubled down on TikTok, doubled down on Instagram. They secured incredible 6-figure, 5-figure, 7-figure brand deals. YouTube sponsorships went through the roof. Marketing went through the roof because companies were saying, well, look, traditional TV's not really getting a lot of clout right now, but these content creators are getting millions of views. Let's pay them 5-6 figures to promote our product. So they really thrived. So that was a business that really, took off. And there's a lot of people now thinking, well, maybe I should become a content creator. It wasn't my thought at the beginning, but certainly now it's a huge part of my life. Food delivery service. Wow, this was a big one. I knew there was a local company near me that bought a load of scooters and they did real specific niche purchases and delivered it to your front door. Stuff that you could only get from like convenience stores, because let's face it, going to Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, everything was sold out. So these small little companies that were built with scooters and stuff where people were going into shops and they were just picking up individual items and they just created an application, they made a killing. Which brings me on to my next business model, which is application development. So many people were building out applications. Not all of them worked, but some of them were extremely successful. Software, food delivery apps, online retail apps, serving customers through an application that was simply built out by an individual, small team, and now they can serve people in loads of different countries, and everything was online, so people could buy while sitting at home. Look at Amazon, absolutely thrived. Amazon were well ahead of their time. Food, clothing, items, products, you name it, garden stuff, whatever, just went through the roof, made billions in profit. Gaming. I mean, this one still gets me today. Gaming is a huge business. Some people laugh at it, but look how much people are making from sitting at home and gaming, entering tournaments. It's laughed at by some people, specifically the baby boomers, but it's legit. This is where the world is going. It's online, it has to be digital, it has to be timeless, spaceless. There is a pattern here, and some companies were so set in their ways that they weren't able to provide a service, a product online. So it's very, very simple. You really have to now think outside the box. Whatever business you're starting, can I sell and can I provide a service online? For me, I was very lucky. I have an investment business where I was still able to serve people that through the likes who were invested in property. They were like not making a lot in property. There's more tenants' rights, there's more outgoings, more insurances. There's a recession coming. People were really feeling the pinch when it comes to rental properties actually generating any decent income. Like with Section 24 coming in, it's really crippled landlords. And what they were doing is people with money were looking for another avenue to still grow their money, because wealthy people never want to sit their money still. I was very lucky in the sense that people were looking for another source of investing where they could grow their money. So investments and finance is another business model that can be solely online. You can provide all the services online.
This video was kindly sponsored by shieldglobal.io, the company that will allow you to optimize and delegate all of your social media tasks so you don't have to. Grow without the stress, maximize all your social media platforms, and get in touch with the team at shieldglobal.io.
And finally, I always push this one because it's something that I done. Something that I'm a big believer in, I'm really passionate about, is online consultations, serving information to other people. So I really niched into finance, raising money, and entrepreneurship and startup and networking. Those are kind of my niche areas, which I feel that I'm somewhat of an expert in to a certain extent. And what I'm able to do is via consultations, either on a one-to-one basis or in a group mastermind, is that I'm able to provide instant information for people. And that is extremely lucrative because the more you know, the more you earn, the more per hour that you're worth. So if you have a passion for learning, great, learn as much as you can and then put together something where you can offer that as a package through consulting. Look, I think we all need to take into consideration ChatGPT is extremely advanced. It's going to eradicate a lot of people's jobs. AI as a whole is going to be a big competitor for designers, architectures, people who are in logistics, scheduling, people who have to do programming. The time is coming very soon where AI is going to be the major competitor for a lot of jobs. So if you are perhaps sitting there and you've got a 9 to 5, do think about, will AI or ChatGPT challenge your job? If so, do start thinking about starting a business. It's never been easier. You need disciplines, make sacrifices, a good idea. Most importantly, you need good people around you, but it's never been easier to start a business and cash flow and make more money. I'm very excited because I have a program coming out called the Employment Breakout Program, which I'll put a link in the description below, which you can apply for. It's limited spaces where I'm going to take you on a digital video journey, which will also have a exclusive Facebook group which you can join, where I'm going to take people from either part-time employment, employed or unemployed, to start a business and everything you need to do in between while staying pandemic proof. So I'm really excited to get that underway. If you wanted to join that and you wanted to know more, you can click some of the links in the description, as I said. But if you are going to start a business, please do think digital, online, scalability, serve to people in all different countries. Does your business model do that, or your business idea? If it does, happy days, never give up. And if you like this type of video, please do hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Which brings me on to my next business model, which is pretty pandemic proof. Which brings me on to my next business. Which brings me on to my next business. I can't do that.